CSUN students gathered in front of the Oviatt Library to protest many of Trump's executive orders. Los Angeles is considering changing call times for late-night bars, and CSUN students welcome the Hello Kitty mobile cafe.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Lexi Wilson.
And I'm Paulina Negretti.
The LA County Board of Supervisors is planning to shut down marijuana dispensaries in the unincorporated areas of Los Angeles. It could cost taxpayers $25 million to carry out the plan. The board decided to shut down 70 dispensaries instead of providing them with a pathway to legalization through licensing and registration. Marijuana advocates suggest that providing clear rules would be better than getting rid of an entire industry.
California State Senator Scott Wieners is proposing to allow bars to be open until 4 a.m. CSUN reporter Kealani Sarmiento has more on the story.
Bars and nightclubs in California are open until 2 a.m., but that may change as the senator plans to keep them open until 4 in the morning. Undercover alcohol and beverage control police sergeant Fernando Garcia says public safety is their main priority.
At that time of the morning, we now have people on their way to work, so traffic is already starting to build up. And the last thing we would want is people coming out of bars, possibly intoxicated, getting on the roadway and being involved in more traffic collisions.
Thousands of people are exploring the LA streets every day, and businesses are booming. Bar manager Jaime Cano says that the new law can lead to increased revenue for the company.
I think it really depends on the surrounding bars. If they decide to stay open till 4, I mean, it's a competitive business, so say like a place closes at 2 a.m., you're going to get tons of spillover of all these people, and within 2 hours you can make like thousands of dollars.
I'm in Los Angeles, where bars, lounges, and nightclubs are the playground for adults. Although people say that Los Angeles has a fun nightlife scene, they're still thirsty for more.
Keeping things open later might be interesting.
Every week there's an event in Los Angeles bringing a premier nightlife scene, but all of which close at 2 a.m. New legislation for California to extend their last call for alcohol to 4 a.m. has yet to be decided. In Los Angeles, this is Kealani Sarmiento.
The FBI has asked the Department of Justice to refute President Trump's wiretapping allegations against former President Obama. President Trump wrote on Twitter last week that Obama had the phone in Trump Tower tapped. The FBI wants the Justice Department to reject the allegations because wiretapping is illegal. The Trump administration is asking Congress to look into whether or not Obama abused his executive powers.
CSUN students protested on campus against President Trump, and that drew counter-protesters. Reporter Kealani Sarmiento has more on the story.
Say it loud, say it clear, immigrants are welcome here.
The CSUN Young Democrats were demonstrating against President Trump's policies on Muslims and illegal immigrants.
Donald Trump, go away, racist anti-gay. Hands too small, can't build a wall. This is what democracy looks like.
Even the dogs were protesting. Protester Catherine Salazar says her family deals with immigration fears every day.
You have people being deported left and right every single day. My mom doesn't even want to go outside of the house. She doesn't even want to go to school. Well, go learn English. Well, guess what? If I go to school, I might just get deported too. If I go anywhere, if I go to work.
However, not everyone agreed with the protests.
We are building the wall, and the rule of law is coming back to the United States. We cannot stop it.
Trump supporters were in attendance to argue their opinion and defend his policies.
So you are correct in that, but you're ignoring the fact that there's other issues.
How do you know that? That's not true.
Hey, think of where did your parents came from? Oh, really?
I think he's a patriot. I don't think what they're making him out to be is true, a tyrant, an authoritarian, a bigot, or anything. And so I'm just here to stand with Trump, and also a lot of the issues that are being brought up through the California Freedom Project. I want to let people know that they are wrong on some of these issues.
We want a leader, not a creepy queen.
CSUN student Maya Wax compares Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler.
Hitler was elected democratically as Chancellor of Germany, promising to make Germany great again, to get the rest of the world to respect Germany. There's a lot of parallels, and he was a racist. He believed in eugenics, and he tried to eliminate the entire Jewish people, as well as many other people who he saw as imperfect. These are all groups that Donald Trump targets.
Some students wanted to cool things down with a little yoga. More than 150 people attended the Donald Trump protest. In Northridge, I'm Kealani Sarmiento.
President Trump announced a new travel ban that will take effect on March 16th. The revised ban removed Iraq from the list. The original executive order banned travelers from Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. The Iraq Foreign Ministry says this is an important step to strengthen and reinforce the alliance with the U.S. The new executive order also removes the indefinite ban on Syrian refugees, but it no longer prioritizes religious minorities with refugee admissions. Lawful permanent residents known as green card holders are exempt from the ban.
Activists say they did not hear anything new about immigration in the presidential address to Congress. Valley View News reporter Jennifer Montiel has more on the story.
We are removing gang members, drug dealers, and criminals that threaten our communities and prey on our very innocent citizens.
A group of people watched President Donald Trump's presidential address to Congress at the UCLA Labor Center in Los Angeles. Attorney Cynthia Flores, who helps many undocumented families, says that people need to be prepared for any changes.
If you're at risk for deportation and you have children, you need to grant somebody the authority to take care of your children. You also need to control for as many factors as you possibly can.
They have taken advantage.
UCLA Labor Center activist RJ, who did not want his name disclosed, says there are resources available to protect people from deportation.
I am undocumented, and I think the work that we do is very important because I know how it impacts me and how it can help with, as I go on forward. And I think to be able to share those resources, to the community that I belong to. And I think that's what made me to be present in this space.
Yadira Flores was not able to watch the speech live, but she said she liked what Trump did not say.
Because I'm a DACA student, and I'm afraid that he's going to take away the DACA program, so I won't be able to continue my school. But after watching his speech online, I saw that Donald Trump is not attacking the undocumented students, which gave me some hope.
The mood was not optimistic for those at the UCLA Labor Center. In Los Angeles, Jennifer Montiel, Valley View News.
A family from Afghanistan was detained last weekend at LAX. The family was on a connecting flight to Seattle. The father was detained at LAX for 2 days before being transferred to an Orange County detention facility. After a brief meeting, it was learned that the mother and the 3 children would be transported to Texas. A U.S. district attorney has filed a restraining order to prevent the family from being taken out of state. As of last Monday, the names of the family had not been released.
Police are searching for a man who shot a Sikh man in the arm in Kent, Washington. The gunman reportedly shouted, "Go back to your country," before he fired. Police are investigating the shooting as a hate crime. The victim, whose name has not been released, is a U.S. citizen. India's foreign ministry says it's communicating with local authorities and offering assistance. The Sikh coalition says violence against minorities has increased since the presidential election, and that the White House needs to speak out against racism and bigotry.
The New York Police Department says tombstones damaged at the Jewish cemetery in Brooklyn were not vandalized. The investigation comes after 42 tombstones were found overturned. A New York hate crime task force says the damage was caused by lack of maintenance and environmental factors such as soil erosion. A number of Jewish institutes and cemeteries have received bomb threats and have been vandalized. Last month, over 100 headstones were damaged at a Jewish cemetery in St. Louis.
4 Atlanta mosques received several death threats, warning Muslims to either run or die. Rights activists are urging heightening security by local law enforcement authorities. 2 mosques in Alabama received identical threatening emails 2 weeks ago. The Washington-based Muslim civil rights and advocacy organization says the threats are part of a mass mailing to mosques nationwide.
When we come back, Eric Kabak will be interviewing CSUN's financial literacy coordinator.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Many college students are having trouble with their finances. The CSUN Financial Literacy Program helps students spend more and save more wisely.
Valley View reporter Eric Hayback sat down with program coordinator Gregorio Alcantar.
Thank you, guys. So here with me today, I have the financial literacy coordinator for the CSUN Financial Literacy Program at CSUN, Gregorio Alcantar. Thank you very much for being with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. So we want to talk about the program that you're running at CSUN, the CSUN Financial Literacy Program. Can you explain what the program is and the goal that you have with the program here at CSUN?
Most definitely. So the Financial Literacy Program has been around for about 6 years as a program. We are housed in the financial aid office. So in the financial aid office, you have first of all, the financial aid that helps you get money from the state and federal governments by submitting either a FAFSA or California Dream Act. Then you have a scholarships component where the scholarship office there also helps you get additional funds to pay for school. And then I'm considered kind of like that third arm financial literacy program where I try to help students. If I had a tagline, it would be how to help students keep more money in their pocket. And so what we do, or what I do, is I create workshops, I create webinars, I go on social media, either Instagram or YouTube, and basically help students become an informed consumer. And so I provide them with information, necessary information, that they can then utilize to help them manage their money better.
Okay, perfect. So what do you think is the biggest problem when you deal with students saving or budgeting their money?
Part of it, I think, is just that I don't see students having access to the information readily, or if it is available, maybe not taking that extra step to try to go ahead and find it. So one of the things that I want to do a lot is promote it as much as possible. So every semester, any opportunity I get to let people know that we exist. Like I mentioned, I go on social media through YouTube or Instagram and let people know about our programs. But one of the things I find is that part of it is that just students don't know where to go to ask for this information. And so I ask that they, for example, visit our financial aid office and definitely say, you know, I need to know more information about how to manage my money. And of course, that will trigger that opportunity for them to talk to me.
Right, so I want to talk about financial literacy. That's kind of what you're saying, the knowledge and not having access to the information. What does financial literacy mean?
So financial literacy is a two-parter. So literacy basically means learning, obtaining information, and then financial about money. And so the goal is to just try to talk about topics that are related to money matters. So for example, how to borrow wisely, how to spend less, how to manage your expenses, how to budget your money, how to save money on textbooks, so things like that.
Okay, and a big problem for students is coming out of college with a lot of debt. Is there a way for them to not have, what is a way for them to manage or balance that debt out of college?
That's a good question. I think that one of the ways would be to understand that there is loans that students can borrow, but you are under no obligation to borrow all the money that's offered to you. So for example, if you see a loan on your account that you can borrow, let's say $12,500, you don't have to borrow that whole amount. You can borrow less and only be responsible for paying back what it is that you are borrowing. The second thing too would be to understand what your expenses are while you're in college. And so if you actually have an idea what those are, how much you're spending on tuition, how much you're going to spend on books, on food and things like that, then it also helps then to just borrow, if that is what you're going to end up doing, just what you need, not what you want.
If you would like to know more about the program, research for CSUN Financial Literacy on Instagram and YouTube.
Most of the plastic toys purchased in the United States are made in China. But a company in Michigan has been making plastic dollhouses, kitchen sets, and trucks for 55 years. John Gessert, the CEO of American Plastic Toys, says it's easier to manufacture in China where employee regulations don't exist. He says keeping his factory in the U.S. helps Michigan and allows him to maintain good quality and integrity. The company employs more than 300 workers in its 5 facilities, working on a 24-hour weekday schedule. The company provides healthcare and saving plans.
General Motors will lay off more than 1,000 workers in May. The employees work at GM's Lansing Delta Township plant in Michigan. GM also announced it will be investing $1 billion in its U.S. factories. The investment would allow GM to create or retain more than 1,000 U.S. jobs. CSUN's new state-of-the-art sustainability center is opening on campus in May. The center is a net zero energy building that will host all sustainable projects on campus. Director of Energy and Sustainability Austin Erickson and Professor Lorraine Lundquist discussed the center with On Point reporter Rosa Rodriguez.
What is the ultimate goal of having a sustainability center on campus?
So I think one of the bigger goals for that center is kind of a centralized location for all things sustainability on campus. It's going to be the most innovative building on our campus as well as in the CSU at this point. So it'll be a net zero energy building, meaning it's generating all of the energy it's consuming on site. It'll house our Institute for Sustainability as well as the AS recycling operations. So it's going to be kind of the hub of sustainability on campus.
And it's got lots of other cool features too, right? Like composting toilets is sort of the most innovative thing that you might think of.
It'll be the first building with composting toilets. It has the first gray water system on campus. So water that's used in sinks will be kind of used outside of the building for irrigation. So yeah, there's...
You reuse the water that people are washing their hands with, and then it goes to the plants instead of going off to the sewer.
Yeah.
So cool. And isn't it made out of recycled, I thought there was something about the construction.
Yeah, there's a million things to do with just how it was put together. A lot of the materials that's being used to put it together are all recycled or high recycled content. Yeah, I mean.
And solar panels. And I think that they were allowing people to adopt a solar panel if there are people out there watching that want to donate.
They also talked about ways to be eco-friendly, including reducing waste and changing your lights to LED lights to save energy. Watch the full interview this week on Point.
Now let's go to Kendall Faulkner with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Paulina. The CSUN baseball team took 2 of 3 games against the number 14th ranked Vanderbilt Commodores in Tennessee. CSUN won the first game 6-4. Catcher Albie Weiss led the offense with a home run and 2 RBIs. In the second game, CSUN pitcher Tay Vanderford threw a complete game and won 4-1. The Matadors dropped the third game 11-3. They are playing 4-game series against Purdue this weekend at Matador Field. The CSUN women's basketball team fell to UC Davis 63-55 in the last game of the regular season. Matador sophomore Shannon Fluker finished with a team high of 24 points. She is the 4th player in program history to pass 500 points in season. She is 24 points shy of breaking a school record. Serafina Guadalupe finished with 10 points and 2 3-pointers. She needs 5 more 3-pointers to break a school record of 84 in a season. As of Monday, CSUN is heading to the 2nd round of the Big West tournament. CSUN intramurals Joshua Castro does not let his disability affect his job. Valley View's Kelsey Henderson has more on the story.
Josh Castro is no ordinary referee. Yes, he has on his black and white stripes, but something you can't see behind his long hair is his cochlear implant. Josh is deaf, and every time he goes to work, he's overcoming obstacles.
I was born hearing. I was a perfectly normal child, running around, getting in trouble. But then I lost it at the age of 5 completely.
When applying to become a referee, Castro was put to the test, but he never gave up. His hard work was acknowledged by those around him.
He makes sure that he tries as hard as he can and stays active and always trying to get better.
There have been many times when Castro has faced trials and difficulties while being a ref, as well as being deaf. With all the different intramural participants he encounters, there are some who don't know he's deaf, some that do, and others who say it just doesn't matter.
Honestly, it doesn't. As long as they know what they're doing, they know the calls, it doesn't matter, you know? It's all good.
Despite what some may consider as a setback, Castro continues to work hard and embraces who he is.
I am deaf. I am who I am. There's nothing I can do about it now. I just need to move on and use that as my identity.
Josh says one way he's embraced his deaf identity is by changing his Twitter handle to Deafpool, based on the Marvel character Deadpool, which he says is one way to celebrate who he is. I'm Kelsey Henderson in Northridge for Valley View News.
ESPN will continue to lay off more of its staff. The cuts are reportedly going to affect on-air talent whose contracts are about to end. The layoff is expected to take place in June. Parent company Disney told ESPN 2 years ago to trim their budget by $250 million. In 2015, ESPN laid off 300 employees, which is nearly 4% of its workforce. Keith Olbermann and Bill Simmons were among the big names that were laid off 2 years ago. Venus Williams is targeting the 2020 Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Williams says she's not planning to retire. She wants to participate in the Olympics in 3 years. If she qualifies for the 2020 Summer Olympics, it will be her 6th participation at age 40. Williams has won 4 gold medals and 1 bronze. In the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio, Williams earned the silver medal in the mixed doubles category with her partner Regime Ram. That's all for sports. Now back to you.
After the break, SNL goes after the White House,
and the Hello Kitty Mobile Cafe visits the Northridge Mall.
You love their music. Why would you steal it? When you illegally download your favorite band's music, they might just disappear. Downloading music without paying for it is just not cool.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
A University of Illinois student has died after falling from his apartment balcony. It's the 3rd alcohol-related death in the last 11 years during the annual spring unofficial St. Patrick's Day. A UI spokeswoman says there was a heavy police presence on campus to emphasize safety. The university does alcohol responsibility training with all students and promotes safe behavior through social media. The university also sends a letter to parents asking them to talk to their children about alcohol safety during the unofficial party.
An investigation done by the Los Angeles Times finds some unusual purchases from a charter school CEO. Velka McFarlane earned nearly $500,000 in 2013 as CEO of the Celerity Educational Group. The Times says she made 35% more than the superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District. McFarlane was showing her earnings by wearing Armani suits, eating at expensive restaurants, and using car services. Financial records showed McFarlane was paying for the expenses by using the company credit card.
Pope Francis is urging people to put down their cell phones and pick up a Bible. He asked a crowd at the Vatican what would happen if they were to read the Bible in the way they read messages on their cell phone. He says the Bible contains the Word of God, which is always topical and effective. Pope Francis also says the iPhone you bought last week will soon be obsolete, but the same can't be said about the Bible.
Here's Gracia Lopez with our weekly entertainment news.
Thank you, Lexi. Saturday Night Live took a break from impersonating President Trump and instead took on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Comedian Kate McKinnon impersonated Sessions, transforming into Tom Hanks' character Forrest Gump. Sessions was in the headlines last week after admitting he met the Russian ambassador to the United States.
That I don't have any ties to the Russians whatsoever.
This meeting never happened.
I wasn't going to remember it anyway.
The role of Putin is played by SNL's Beck Bennett. An Alabama drive-in theater is saying no to the new live-action musical of Beauty and the Beast. The theater owner will not be screening the feature film because of a gay character.
My salvation isn't about money. It's not about man. It's what God wants me to do.
Director Bill Condon says Gaston's sidekick, LeFou, has a gay moment in the PG-rated movie, but what that means is unclear. The gay twist might not be so new after all. Some viewers wondered about LeFou in the classic animated version that came out in 1991. The film hits theaters next Friday. Actress Emma Watson is making headlines, but not for her Beauty and the Beast remake. A British broadcaster accused Watson's feminist views of being hypocritical because of her new Vanity Fair cover photo where her chest is exposed. The broadcaster tweeted that Watson complains about women being sexualized, yet sexualizes herself in her work. Watson responded by saying she was stunned and people have a misunderstanding of her photos with her feminist views. Rapper entrepreneur Jay-Z is launching a new business called Arrive. The business will help pour capital into young startup companies and advise them on brand and business development. Jay-Z has invested in other companies such as Uber and his music streaming service Tidal. It is unclear how many companies Arrive will invest in, but Jay-Z says the plan is to go big. Hello Kitty rolled into Northridge. Valley View reporter Julia Espinoza has the story.
Hundreds of Hello Kitty fans arrived at the Northridge Mall for the day-long mobile cafe visit. Most businesses are located in stores and online, but Hello Kitty has a mobile unit that sells food and memorabilia, including water bottles, t-shirts, and mugs. These tote bags were given free with a minimum purchase of $25.
This is really great to see the community out and the kids and everybody's enjoying themselves. And the stuff is really adorable and it's not something you can get locally.
Fans waited 2 to 3 hours hoping to purchase the merchandise, but most didn't seem to mind.
It was totally worth it. It was totally worth it.
During the wait, children played in the center quad and fans snapped pictures. Hello Kitty was first introduced 42 years ago primarily for children, but that's changed.
Now people realize that it's not just about kids stuff, that everyone can love it, and I think that's what's great is like you look around here and there's people of all ages, races, like everyone's here.
At least one person came here but had ulterior motives.
I don't like Hello Kitty, but I was just here for the snacks.
Fortunate for Hello Kitty fans, the Hello Kitty Cafe truck is scheduled to travel throughout numerous locations in both the East and West Coasts. In Northridge, this is Julia Espinosa reporting for Valley View News.
That's all I have for entertainment. Now back to you.
A 12-year-old boy who lost his leg to cancer has a new best friend, a dog who also lost his leg. The two-time cancer survivor had his leg amputated 2 years ago. One of his wishes was to adopt a 3-legged dog. His mother saw a post about a pit bull mix with a broken leg that had been amputated as well, and the family headed straight to the animal shelter.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Lexi Wilson.
And I'm Paulina Negretti.